100 ODIs. When did you start? You look, what does he look? 182 cap number, but looks 22. Incredible career, Steve. Many congratulations. When did this happen? I mean, can you believe it that you're actually playing your 100th one-day international, and that too as captain of Australia, leading the baggy green?
Well, I've been around for quite a long time now. I played my first game back in 2010, so it's taken me a long time to get 100 games. Yeah, obviously started as a leg spinner, my first probably 31 days that I played. Then I had a couple of years off and figured out how to bat, and then came back and played pretty much every one day since. So it's been a long time in the making, I guess. It's been a good 7 years to play 100 games, but it's a true honour, and really looking forward to getting out there tomorrow.
For me, the Steve Smith memory is 2015, a sad, painful Indian memory, when one gentleman decides in front of a sea of blue in Sydney to take India out of the 2015 World Cup. Now, that's the Steve Smith we know, the champion.
Yeah, I remember that 2015 semi-final like it was yesterday. I think it was probably my best one-day knock that I've had. It was a beautiful wicket, and at my home ground in Sydney as well. And semi-final, big occasions, so that's when you really need to stand up, and I was proud I was able to do that on that day.
You and Virat, I mean, the rivalry apart, all of the controversy apart, but you and Virat as characters, you all give a lot to sport. That's why we come and watch sport. Steve Smith batting, Virat Kohli leading, Virat Kohli batting, Steve Smith leading, is what adds spice to sport. Can you talk about that? Do you compete with each other? Do you try and outdo, say, a Joe Root or a Virat Kohli as the best batsman in the world and outdo him as a captain? Or it's also a celebration at one level, both of you admire each other, appreciate each other, celebrate each other's success?
Yeah, look, I think Virat's a terrific player and captain, and what he's done with the Indian team has been exceptional. And I guess personally, I don't like to sort of have battles with different players, if that makes sense. I just like to go out there and try and do the best job that I can for myself and for the team. I try and put that stuff behind me and just concentrate on the job at hand, and I let everyone else compare each of us and those kind of things. But for me, it's just ensuring I'm trying to be the best that I can be and try and get better each and every day.
India v Australia. I mean, we talk about rivalries, we talk about celebration of sport. We know Ashes, we know the El Clasico, we know Wimbledon, we know Federer, Nadal. India, Australia. Can you talk about that rivalry and how special it has become in the cricket world before I get Shashwat in on the leadership point as well? India v Australia, do you now consider this to be one of the world's premier, if not the premier cricketing rivalry?
Oh, it is a massive rivalry. I think it has been for so long, and I think I came out the other day and said, as captain of the Australian team, one of the things I'd like to do is win a test series over here in India. It's one of the toughest places to come and play for an Australian player. The wickets are so different to what we get back home. So, that's a dream of mine, to be able to lead a team over here and win. But I guess it's a huge rivalry. We always love playing against each other. It's always great cricket, and I see this series, this one-day series and T20 series that we've just started, no different.
When we celebrate a Steve Smith, young man, so much achievement, it's the surface that we are seeing. 87 for 5 India, tricky position. It takes a lot of courage to be able to take that leadership call. You can be right, you can be wrong, or at times you will be wrong. Can you tell us about your mindset?
Yeah, of course, and it has its challenges, no doubt. But I wouldn't give it back for the world. I love what I do, and I guess when you get in those tricky situations, you want to be the one to lead by example. That's one of my sort of mantras. I try and lead by example with the way I practice and the way I perform out in the field, and that's really close to me that I can do that.
Leading Spencers. I mean, I know over the last 3-4 weeks you and I have been interacting fairly frequently. I know you have a commitment to health and health awareness in this country. So on the one hand, as a young leader, you have a responsibility towards society. On the other, there is this new culture that you're trying to bring into our system. We are not that healthy. I mean, forget Steve Smith is there. I mean, to ask this question, I look silly. But tell us about your vision. Your vision as a leader, leading a franchise, leading a business empire, coming from a tradition which is 100 years old, illustrious father. Talk to me about that.
I think to begin with, I would like to agree with what Steve said. I think a lot of what we do as leaders is really lead by example and really be there for the team when they need you the most, and actually look at working together with the entire team and being really a team player at all times. So from a leadership perspective, I think that's what I would like to say.
Steve, he's talking about leadership, you are talking about leadership. 11 super achievers, 15, 16 members in a team, right? Now, all of them, the fact that they're playing for the baggy green means they're achievers. How do you lead a bunch? Not necessarily all of them will be friends, correct? How do you get the best out of your players?
I think it's about knowing each individual and knowing what makes them tick. You know, everyone's not going to get on with everyone. They're not going to be best friends with everyone. But when you cross the line, you want to ensure that they have each other's back, and that's really important. So, you know, it's good to have different characters in the room. If everyone was the same, then it'd be boring. So it's nice to have different characters and trying to manage different people and managing relationships. That's all part of leadership, and you know, you always have your challenges, but it's great to. I guess it's satisfying as a leader as well when you can overcome those challenges and ensure that people are doing things and heading in the right direction for the collective.
And the transition, Steve Smith, the batsman, because you're fairly young. I mean, you have challenges because the world is saying you're one of the best batsmen, if not the best batsman, along with Virat Kohli and Joe Root and whoever. You said very pertinently, even if I get a duck, my team wins. That's what I want. I want to understand that mindset. Talk to me about that, the transition from a cricketer, batsman, leader.
I think, well, hopefully everyone has that same mindset in my team. You know, it's not about personal glory, it's about the team doing well, and if anyone takes 100 over the team winning, then they're in the wrong the wrong change room, in my opinion. I think it's all about the team's success and trying to build a team that's doing well, and yeah, I'd happily take a duck tomorrow if we can win the game.
Shashwat, your comment on that?
So I agree with the principle, of course, that at the end of the day, the team has to perform well, and it's not a particular individual. But I think being an Indian, I would say I'd still stick with what I said earlier. You can get the 100 and let us win.
Eden Gardens. You've not played an international match at Eden Gardens. You played IPL and you've played a warm-up game. But Eden Gardens, temple of sport, MCG Lords Eden Gardens, or the other way around. Talk to me about playing at the Eden Gardens. And I mean, it cannot be that if it was, say, in some other stadium, Indore, Nagpur, I'm not belittling anyone, but I'm saying playing your 100th game at the Eden Gardens must be special.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. As you said, I've never played an international match here, so that's exciting for me. I assume the crowd will be very loud and packed, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think it'll be a great occasion for me to walk out on my 100th game at Eden Gardens.